Hi, this is Jess from the Backstage Access. I'm here with Eller.
Hey!
So nice to meet
and
you
Eddie.
again. At the start of the day.
Oh yeah,
so
okay.
How you been doing lately?
Good, actually. Yeah, very good. Thanks. I've finally been making music again here in Amsterdam. I've got my own studio and finally making music again.
Yeah, last time we talked, you were kind of building the new studio, so now everything is...
It's finished and I'm so happy with it. It was like 100 square meters of like soundproof stuff, and I can make as much as noise as I want to, so I love that.
And that's nice. So, what kind of equipment do you have in the studio?
Oof, well, I've got like 35 guitars over there.
Wow, 35!
Yeah, I'm a guitarist, so you know, you have to have a lot of guitars. Yeah, and like I've got a 32 channel mixer, UAD, wait a minute, Eddie doesn't want to be in the interview. So I got UAD, Apollo software or interfaces and stuff, and computers and the whole shebang, like what you need when you have a studio. So very, very happy. Drum kits, bass guitars, synthesizers.
That's so that's nice. And are you working on something special, something new?
Yes, well, actually, I've took some time off, to be honest, lately. Like the last 1 or 2 years, I was a bit, to be honest, I was a bit fed up with the music industry, and yeah, it's been a difficult time, and now finally I found myself back. That's how you say it, and I'm really happy about it. Finally picking up the guitar again, and. So last year I've been teaching a lot. I teach at a conservatory in Haarlem, also about the music industry. So all my experiences I can share them with the people over there. And but finally I'm doing some gigs again, and other stuff and little jobs and guitar teaching. And,
I think it takes a lot of time.
It does, yeah. And to be honest, I love teaching. It's just. The new generation is so important to be involved with, and to see how they do stuff, and so yeah, and I don't know, I just love teaching. I just love to explain stuff to people, or when people come with questions about whether it's a contract or how do you play this chord on the guitar. You know, I just love, you know, talking to people.
Yeah, that's nice. And are you also working on an album, maybe, or?
Yes, well, I'm trying to finish my new EP. I've finally got some demos down. I already had some demos like last year, but I wasn't too happy about them. So I wrote some new songs, and I'm pretty happy with these ones. So I can't wait to really record them, and then it's only demo phase now, so I need to get the drummer in and the bass player in, and then record them for real, and then hopefully they will sound as how I have them in my head now.
What is the most inspirational part of your work? I mean,
Ooh, good question. What's my most inspiration? I think actually my students and everybody I see struggling with music and how to cope with the industry, and also the people around me, also Armin, also those people are more inspiration than I thought it was. So that's Eddie barking, so he doesn't agree with me.
He has something else to say.
Yeah, Eddie, you want to say something? Come on. So I've also been focusing on my dog.
Yes, of course.
Eddie. So yeah.
So that's nice. And maybe a bit more deep question, but just because we are at Amsterdam Dance Event, and lately I heard a few artists are quitting, like Hardwell, maybe also that Mouse. I don't know if he was trolling us as always, or if he's really quitting. What is your point of view? And
well, I can definitely see where they're coming from. I obviously seen the documentary about Avicii, and I heard about Hardwell, and yeah, I don't know Hardwell in person, but I can understand from what I've seen. you know, my own experiences, but moreover the stuff I've seen that happens to like what happened to everything that's happening around Armin. I can really imagine that people are quitting like quitting or taking a break, like I did myself the last 2 or 3 years, because it's a harsh world. Like people in the audience only see the lights,
the
and they only see like the wow, and everything is wow and lots of money and stuff, but there's a world behind it, and it's a difficult one for big artists, but also for smaller artists. Like what I see in with my students, I see them struggling with an industry. There's more and more people coming into this industry, trying to get their music being played on radio, and it's so difficult nowadays. It's like almost like a rolling dice, where people just, you know, they don't really. It doesn't really matter what you do. Nowadays you have to be like, do you have to be crazy? Do you have to do crazy stuff in order to become, So I do understand why people like these people, like Armin and Hardwell and also Ivica, they're the little tip of the iceberg, but there's a really big iceberg below it, and they're struggling as well.
So, getting this back to you, I mean, I can suppose it's just a guess. Maybe also the teaching thing, the fact that you can teach your students your experience and your knowledge, and so maybe this also keeps you grounded in a way.
Yeah, well, that is the absolute truth. I love, like, I'm not touring at the moment, but I remember when I was touring. One of the best things about touring was obviously coming home and then the next day teaching, because then you have like sometimes like an 8-year-old kid who didn't practice his guitar study, but it makes you feel, you know, it makes you feel so like in being in normal life, because touring is not normal life. It's crazy life, and it's one of the best things that ever happened to me. But it's also at the same time it's wow, it's very hard.
Yes, also if I watch, for instance, the video from Armin Only touring, when you were touring as well, how do you keep yourself balanced in that, you know, with all those travels, all those gigs every night a different place, and I've seen it can happen, you have some issues with passports, with visas, and so a lot of stress is adding up, and then you have the gigs, and then maybe during the rehearsals something can go wrong, so how do you manage it all?
Well, fortunately we had good managers. The managers, they managed a lot, but apart from that, going back home, because we always had a choice to stay in the country, to have a holiday, whatever, but I usually chose to go home, back to my girlfriend, to just go back to normal life, and then teach. For me, teaching is really a way of expressing or just being normal again, because playing is one of the best things, but it can screw up your mind a lot.
I think so. I'm kind of sure it's hard to balance everything.
And don't get me wrong, like I said, it is one of the best things that ever happened to me, and it is really a lot of fun. But as we're talking about that right now, it should be known for also people that are in that big pile of iceberg, that they know that it's not only that.
Yes, okay. And talking about funny things and happy things, I mean,
that's a better
better subject.
Yeah.
What's funny about all this, the traveling, or just when you teach something to your students, any funny things that can happen?
Well, obviously touring with your friends is one of the best things that can happen, and I think humor is one of the like telling jokes and stuff is one of the most important things. I remember I saw an interview with the Beatles, and they asked kind of the same. The interviewer asked the same questions to the Beatles, like, how do you manage it all? How do you cope with all this? And they said, well, making jokes, like a lot of laughing is one of the most important things. So I had one of my two close friends, Koen Herfst and Michiel Elbracht. They were there too. and I always had like lots of fun with them, making jokes, fooling around, doing crazy stuff, and that's the thing. And also in class, well, they're young people, and young people always have this kind of like, yeah, like they're always like having fun. So, laughing is one of the most important things in life.
Yes, and that's nice advice. Okay, so thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you.
Hope to see you soon somewhere, maybe on tour again.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.